Good. Yeah, happy to be here.
Great job on the report. I went through it a couple of days ago. I will. Sau Florian, vrei să povestești tu în primul rând așa în mare despre ce e vorba în raportul ăsta?
Da, sigur. În primul rând, mulțumim pentru invitație. Este un raport paneuropean care s-a desfășurat în mai multe țări, de la UK până în Turcia, inclusiv în România. Au fost...
Deci nu doar Uniunea Europeană, tot spațiul european.
Tot spațiul european, da. Au fost intervievați peste 12.000 de oameni. Pe lângă asta au fost niște interviuri in-depth cu tot felul de experți ca să ofere și o perspectivă calitativă, CMO, CEOs, futurologi și așa mai departe. Și ce e iară foarte interesant este că studiul ăsta de fapt este un al doilea val a unui studiu care a avut loc în 2018 și asta ne oferă o perspectivă evolutivă asupra datelor.
Ok. Care sunt măsurătorile? Ce a măsurat studiul?
În primul rând a măsurat perspectiva europenilor cu privire la proiectul european, cu privirea așteptărilor europenilor pentru Europa. Dacă Europa va fi un lider în lume, ce ar trebui să facă astfel încât Europa să fie un lider în lume, ce și-ar dori de la Uniunea Europeană sau de la instituțiile europene. De exemplu, e foarte interesant că în România, românii și-ar dori un sistem de sănătate european la care să aibă acces mai mult decât sistemul lor de sănătate. 61% dintre români și-ar dori asta. În același timp, dacă cei întrebați din UK și-ar dori un pașaport european.
Regretă Brexit-ul foarte mult, nu? Peste 60, mi se pare, la sută sau apare?
Da, în momentul de față, da. Pe lângă asta au fost întrebați cu privire la îngrijorările lor față de lume în momentul de față. Jumătate de 50% dintre europeni, cât și dintre români, în momentul de față își fac griji că nu au ce pune pe masă sau își fac griji că nu o să aibă siguranță.
Dintre europeni?
Jumătate dintre europeni.
Wow, dintre toți europeni?
Da, și asta crește, în Portugalia este undeva la 70 și ceva la sută.
Wow!
Apoi, pe lângă aceste îngrijorări, s-a uitat de unde vine speranța, de unde în viitor sper să fie lucrurile mai bune și, firește, fiind un studiu făcut de McCann Worldgroup, s-a uitat și la așteptările oamenilor față de branduri. Celor ar trebui să aibă brandurile în companiile, da, în viețile oamenilor.
Rodney, what was your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise. So I come to this research as an anthropologist and as an American, and I've looked at the American dream in the United States in depth, that pretty recently. And I think when you look at the European dream, you see some very probably familiar conditions, but are quite unique and different than what the American dream presents to the world. And if we're looking at the American century, which had defined the way of life for many people around the world and the sort of goals and ambitions, we see something really sustainable about the European dream and the European project. And that is a dedication to some fundamentals: well-being, healthcare, education, democracy, human rights. All of those are real bastions of the European project, and people are really committed to those. And I think when we look at our data and we see the rate of agreement and belief in those fundamentals, and we don't take those seriously, and we ignore this data, I think we'll have a problem. I think we really do need to pay attention to what people are asking for.
What's the trend? Florian talked about the longitudinality of the study, comparing it with 2018. What's the trend?
Yeah.
Would you say for Romania and for Europe in its average?
I mean, the biggest thing that has really shifted over the last 5 years, which was probably no surprise to anybody listening to this, is the intensity of people's commitment to the challenge and the solution to our climate crisis, and really looking for a circular future. There's a belief that the future of business actually will be a circular economy, and that's a pretty widely held belief. And so that's an update to the ways in which we're currently doing business. And I think when you hear that, it's easy to sort of think, great, a data point. But that data point is meaningful to people and it's very powerful. So I think as we sort of look forward to the future of business and branding, and we are in a marketing organization after all, and we partner with some of the world's largest brands and companies. When we share that data, we're sharing it because we believe that there's action that needs to be taken to resolve some of the challenges and the wishes.
What do Europeans actually say? I mean, I've went to the study, as I told you. They say that companies should be more responsible towards climate change, whatever. What does that mean actually? Because, I mean, let's be fair. There is a lot of media pressure for this to happen, for responsibility, for people to be responsible, and it's going on for tens of years maybe. So it might be that the media told them what to think, or they might be practically, they might have a need from the companies to do something. So what do they say?
I hope in the best situations, that's a conversation, that the media and the public are in a conversation and we're speaking to each other. And so we're learning from one another what is valuable and what is meaningful. So I think that in this particular instance, when sort of 96% of people, I think it's 97% in Romania, tell us that they believe that companies and brands should be required by the law to protect and conserve nature. That's every single person, essentially, in Romania telling us that they believe that. And so governments can respond to that, but brands and businesses can also step in and sort of promote the idea internally, their own self-regulatory principles that can help to drive towards some of these solutions, particularly in this case of a more sustainable future. Because I think without sort of committing to those principles, I think we're all gonna struggle.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I would actually add a point on that, because Romania is quite particular in that sense.
Can we, so we don't have the pressure of advertising, can we just take a short break and we'll take it from here?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Szeretek kávét inni és zenét hallgatni a rádióban.
Ești creativ? Ai talent? Crezi în tine? Puneți semnătura pe 1.000.000 de pahare 5 to go. Participă și câștigă concursul de design Retrogrand 5 to go, noua colecție de pahare pentru sezonul 2023-2024. Trimite-ne până pe 7 mai conceptul vizual câștigător pentru noua serie Retrogrand, compusă din 5 pahare, folosind orice tehnică. 3.000 de euro sunt ai tăi și 5 to go îți organizează cea mai mare expoziție din viața ta. Puneți semnătura pe 1.000.000 de pahare 5 to go. Plăcut de Radio Guerilla. Detalii și regulament pe guerillaradio.ro/5to-go.
Versiunea ta mai hot și versiunea ta mai healthy se întâlnesc. Nu e un banc, ești chiar tu, după prima lună de Sanopas. Vrei să arăți mai hot? Perfect! Vrei să te simți mai healthy? Perfect! Indiferent ce te motivează să faci mișcare, experții Sanopas Fit au creat abonamentele Hot and Healthy perfecte pentru tine, cu acces non-stop la medicină, fitness și nutriție la cel mai bun preț. Până la urmă, nu-i nimic mai hot decât să fii healthy, iar tot ce te face mai healthy te face de fapt și mai hot. Alege unul dintre abonamentele cu toate serviciile de care ai nevoie într-un singur pachet. Sanopas. Arăți bine și te simți bine.
El universo entero, escucha.
Super! Oferta Fresh Food îți aduce doar până duminică 30 aprilie Alpro, băutură din migdale fără zahăr, 1 litru la super prețul de 10,99 lei, în limita stocului disponibil. Descarcă aplicația Fresh Food și hai să faci prima comandă.
Vine primăvara, iar la Sportissimo sunt o mulțime de produse care abia așteaptă să fie scoase la plimbare. Alege trotineta Arcore 3 Force la 179,99 lei sau încălțămintea Adidas Tensor K pentru copii la 109,99 lei. Sportissimo. Sport la sport.
Am observat că nu m-ai observat. Lasă-mă să mă prezint. Sunt oferta specială Citroen. Acum ai modelul Citroen C3 de la 10.900 de euro cu TVA inclus prin programul REMAT. Poți găsi detalii și alte oferte cuceritoare pe ofertecitroen.ro sau la dealerii autorizați.
Citroen. Pentru viață sănătoasă, respectați mesele principale ale zilei.
9:26 de minute, încă o dată bună dimineața. Andrei, îmi cer scuze, am încurcat pronumele cu numele de familie. Nu e Florian, e Andrei Florian, dar Andrei e numele mic. Andrei, continuăm în engleză atunci.
I was actually mentioning that for climate change topic, there was a particularity in Romania, because while Romanians are one of the most that put the responsibility of tackling climate change with companies, more so than the governments and even more so than themselves. So they think that people like me don't have that much of an impact in tackling this. At the same time, when asked about in which topic would you rather get guidance in your life, would you require guidance in their life? Climate change or sustainability comes only on the 8th position. Well, the European average sustainability is actually the first. In the domain they need guidance. And,
wow. But is that a paradox? So they have other priorities, but when they are asked, 97 of them say, oh yeah, that's... Well, it's not a paradox, because statistically it can happen, right? So what's the first issue for Romanians? Rodney?
Managing finances, I think.
Really?
I mean, it's interesting, actually, when we look at Romania. One of the things I love about coming here to share this work is that Romania has a really unique fingerprint when it comes to the data sets. Some of the other countries that we are going to share the results in, the picture isn't as optimistic or bright. The Romanian data set there's a lot of enthusiasm, there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of belief in the institutions, large-scale institutions like the EU, but also other types of institutions, brands and businesses. And this belief that those institutions have the capability and the promise to fulfill some of these components of the European dream that I've spoken about. I think that there is this exciting sense of the possibility and the potential of the future and what it is, what lies ahead. So that's quite exciting. The sort of golden age of Europe may happen for Romania and for Europeans in rates that are unlike in some of our other more core, sort of more historical European markets, like, the big five.
Spain, France, Germany, Italy, and whatever.
Exactly.
What do they actually want? So they say companies and institutions should be more responsible, should be more climate sustainable. Okay. What do they practically expect from a company in order to do so?
I think that the circular economy is one of the biggest things they expect from companies.
So recycling and...
Well, I think it goes beyond. I mean, when we say circular economy, it goes beyond sort of consumer behavior. It goes beyond sort of like, does this decompose? I think it goes beyond, it goes to supply chain. It goes to the sourcing. It goes to the big questions that the SDGs highlight, which really ranges everything from water and air and land to people and healthcare and equality. So I think the SDGs writ large is what people are increasingly understanding circular and sustainable to mean. So a real comprehensive approach to the betterment of our social and cultural conditions.
I would add to that a little thing, the fact that Romanians, when talking about the environment, they're really linked to nature. So whenever you're talking about like climate change, they put it into this context of how is it affecting nature? Is it affecting the forests? Is it affecting the cultures? Is it affecting the temperature around? Is it affecting the air quality?
We were a very rural country. I mean, 80% of Romanians lived in rural areas till 1940 something. So we moved since 2 generations probably in the cities, and we're still probably but they should understand more, right, Andrei?
Yeah, I think they do, but at the same time they don't, companies shouldn't put pressure on them to understand more. Like, they expect for companies to actually behave in a certain way and actually deliver concrete actions before they actually mend their behavior and actually start educating themselves. So one of the biggest things they expect from companies. So they're like the top 3 things that they need from companies. The first one is to protect the earth. Okay. But the second and third are also about being fair and being transparent. So they really want the companies to take the first step.
As a partner in the company, I have a red flag. What does that mean, transparent?
It's more about transparent with their policies of what they're doing, their sourcing, their supply chains, everything. Yeah.
We live in a time in which companies, brands, individuals make claims about future promises, and those claims can be sort of discounted over time because of the conditions that sort of disrupt or interrupt them. So I think people are looking for the sort of taking seriously those claims. And moreover, I think what we're getting to is, we're talking about circularity and sustainability a lot, but fundamentally it is a request and a drive towards a somewhat more ethical social society. People are asking for a renewal of ethical values, a real commitment to those, to greater equity. So I think if you sort of, if I were to sort of suggest 3 things that people should take away is, people want an equitable, they want an ethical, and they want an empathetic sort of set of conditions from the institutions that they engage with. Challenging, but exciting.
It's challenging, and I have to be honest, for me it's a bit dangerous, because companies have a decision center, which is usually made out of a couple of persons. So I know there's a pyramid there, and there's also a bottom to top pyramid, but usually the big decisions are made by a couple of people. So if somebody, or if people unite, a lot of people, and they put pressure on these people, they're not always the very financial educated ones, the small ones. So they might push some companies to probably into bankruptcy, if they follow that. Look at what happened with Bud Light. They almost, their beer production went down 20% or something like that. So you can push someone in order to be ethical and so on. You can push them to do bad business decisions. So, and if the state, because you said that people would like the state to legislate this. So if the state legislates the way a company should conduct their businesses, and I'm sure we have there is a topic of range. How much do you put pressure on companies? For me, as a kid who grew up in communism, it might bring up a red flag about that.
I guess.
What would you tell me, for example?
Yeah, I think it's less that people are asking us or telling us in the data that they would like to see more government involvement in the practices and behaviors of companies, but that they value these things and they're looking for ways in which those
companies should, by themselves, take care of this.
Can companies take an action that does something to protect the nature that I love? Will that be in partnership with government? Will that be in partnership with me? Will I be involved? I think these are open questions, then the solutions aren't evident. But I think there's a lot of energy, and I think there's a lot of energy culturally. We come from a creative environment. I think people are looking for really exciting, innovative solutions to this. Romania actually expresses the greatest interest in seeing research and innovation as an investment of the EU. So there's a really high energy for solutions.
We're good at that, right? We as people are good at creativity, engineering, software engineering, and so on.
Absolutely. I think the world all over looks to Romania every year when we go to a festival that you might have heard of, the Cannes Lion Festival. There's Romanian creative work that is always on those main stages. People appreciate that this is a hotbed of creativity and innovation in the world, and particularly in Europe. So I think that, it is that's again, once more, the kind of excitement that I sense from the data set in Romania. So I think I think we have a lot to learn from Romania I think this is a shared enterprise, the European dream, and Romania has a very important role to play in helping us achieve it.
And I think it's increasing. The role is increasing. We have a good geopolitical position and good economic growth. Is BMW better than Mercedes? Just tell me the truth, Andrei.
Well, according to Romanians, it is.
Yeah. I'm a BMW guy.
Oh, yeah?
You could tell by looking at me.
So you're referring to actually that data point. So in the study, people were asked if a company were to replace the political institutions in your country or at the European level, which company you think would be best suited for that? And not only did they say that in Romania, BMW would be that company, but can you take a guess which is the second company they placed in this top?
So a company that should take the place of institutions in Romania.
Yeah, well,
it's a car company or
the second one is not a car company.
Not a car company. Gilda?
Coca-Cola.
It's there, but it's not.
It brings happiness.
No, it's actually Adidas.
Adidas.
Really? And it's actually really funny when you compare it to the...
Kanye for president.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Probably not.
Before he got stupid.
But the second interesting point is that when you compare it to the European expectation of what that company could be like, the European average is Google. Is projecting it onto Google. And in Romania, Google is there, but it's only on the 4th place.
Okay. And the French, Louis Vuitton?
They're pretty much on par with the rest of
that would be a nice world, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a very pretty world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beauty everywhere.
Yeah, beauty wins.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for coming in and talking about this. Are you gonna... So is it published anywhere? I mean, so...
We're actually going to have an event tomorrow, a closed event, in which we'll be exploring in depth the study, and afterwards we will be releasing to the media more of the insights. Okay. And of course, we will have themed workshop with our clients, which we're inviting to explore this study.
You want to plug that event, or it's sort of an in-house?
It's sort of the in-house event, yeah.
Okay. Interesting stuff. I'm going to read it in more detail.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having us.
Do some
highlights in there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Rodney Collins, PhD, Global Head of Human Sciences, și Andrei Florian, Culture and Insight Manager, McCann Worldgroup România. Mulțumesc foarte mult. 9 și 38 de minute. Ne întoarcem imediat, doamnelor și domnilor. Bună dimineața!